Right, so with this buff titanium, I just want to cut across on the knife a ridge of paint, and then just up in here where the bright areas are, just want to touch some of that colour, and that little bit of shadow that you put down before should be just enough. See that? Just enough for it to contrast against. This really is quite bright in there. Very gently just let it graze over the surface. There. Let it graze and pull it down. It will actually break slightly, which is what you want. You want it to break. And then you can just keep pulling through some of that just down into there. We actually use the brush as well with this colour. Once you put it on with the knife, we can actually use that. So again, just down in here we've got some little highlighted spots. If you get too much on, just use your knife more upright. See that? Just use your knife more upright and you can actually work the paint then that you've got on there. And you don't want it to mix with that blue, because it will turn green for you, and you don't want a green highlight for this. Now, just up in here we've got a few little ridges coming down. See that? And just enough to contrast against what's up there already. And you use the knife more flat as you run out of paint. Sometimes I have to do it this angle, and I'll just gently lift up. I know you guys probably can't see too well, but I'm just showing you that angles are usually quite important for me. Obviously when I'm demonstrating I have to adapt and change that slightly. Sometimes it's good to just go in and just get your colour in there first. You know, just get some colour in, and then you go back to the small edge of the knife and you can just work with it. And I also like to use the knife with no paint on. Once I've actually put the colour on, I'll use an empty knife which has not got no paint on, and I'll just go over that slightly just with a clean knife. There, just a bit there. Smart. So it's like a peachy colour, if you like, is the colour that I'm using. Now, just on this one here, I'm going to put some more darks back into this, but there's a nice shadow there that we need to leave. Just put a bit of some highlight just in that spot, just in there. That's it. Same up in here. We've got a big area. See that huge area of this light tone, and that actually goes more or less right onto the edge of that. That's it. And then I'm going to actually make it look like this layer just in here is in front. This layer is in front of this highlighted spot. So again, I can just run from there down. See that? And them darks that you've left in will remain there. If you don't go too heavy and you use a very, very gentle touch. See how soft I'm touching with that? And I've got the knife nearly flat. You run your fingers into the canvas, it's that flat. You can also get a bit more of the peachy colour, which I did. And I want to put a bit of that peachy colour just up in these areas, because it's a little bit different. See that? I love that colour. I love that tone. There. Just let it break. And then I might just use a small part of the knife for this bit. Just in here. I just want to put some colour in, and then I can pull this part through so it looks like it's in front, and then this is all lit up. If you don't want too many shadows, you can actually pull through, totally get rid of them if you like. Now I've got a nice little rock coming from up there. Just using the side of the knife at an angle. There. Bring that right down. And a few more bits coming from up there as well. So where I'm going to use a small knife, the small part of the knife up in these areas. Just on the very edge of this, we've got a little highlight, see, just there, and then work some of the highlights up to the top on a few of these, and then again I can switch to the small knife, small part of the knife, and then just up in there I want a couple which come from up there and down into this. Smart. So put a few little highlights on that top edge. Just upon that top edge up there. And then I know that that wants to come around. And that is just a tiny bit here and there that's just creeping over on that. Now again, just up in here I just want to use a small part of the knife, just put some more little details in that I can see. Highlight on there. Very delicate when you're doing this with a knife. Don't try to rush it. Go over this a little bit more, just to flatten it out a bit, because that's a bit further away in the distance, is that. Nice. A bit more white mixed with that peachy colour. There we go. Cut across, and then just over these I'm going to put a bit more of that peach just in certain spots, certain areas. There we go. Just let that flatten off. So beautiful is this peachy colour. Where the yellow bits are as well, just here and there, just touch with a bit of that peach into that. Nice. You will start picking the blue up, just be careful. You know, don't just go straight in there. Give yourself a bit of chance. Trying to put a little bit of something up there, and then that's going to come down into that a little bit. There. And there's also another, you can see just coming up there. See that, just little things like that really make the difference when you're doing these. I want to make some more distinct marks here as well to make that stand out better than it does. I just want to get the bulk of the colour in first of all, and then once you've done that you'll be fine. Just touch into that shadow a little bit now and again as well. Same up in there, you can just gently, just a few little indications. Don't want to be bright or distinct. There. Just into that shadowed area. I'm just using the knife flat for that bit. There. And also, if you want, go back to the dark colour. Put some of that over it I'll leave a few darker spots going on in there, just with the knife. And see, just let a few little dark areas come down into that. And also, then dark areas can still come up in here now and again. So you can actually just touch and let a little bit of that just flow down into there. So it'll just disappear off. And it also gives you a bit of detail in this middle ground ones. Does this? Have I run out of colour? Nearly. Still a little bit there, won't there? Just enough. Now a lot of this is going to be hidden. A hell of a lot of it's going to be hidden. Because there's trees going in front of this. So just down in there, I'm just going to pick up some of that colour. And then just going to touch up and make that so it's a bit lighter just underneath. Because it goes into mist more or less. At one point does that. That's cool. You gotta play with it, you've got to be willing to take the time and just do it. Don't rush this. It'll pay a dividend if you don't rush it. In fact, start up there with that. Really dark. And then it'll get lighter as it comes down. It'll mix a little bit with the white. But then it goes light at the base. Like this now, just up in here, this edge is going to actually work its way right through to about there. Be careful here, careful with the knife, not to destroy that top edge. It's that top edge that's really important. There we go. Now just up in here, I've got a few little ridges that are coming down just into there. That's it. A little bit at the top as well. Going to be a tree in front of that one. Now, just up in here, you can drag a couple down. There from there, something like so, going off to nothing, and then a little bit of something up in there. You get to a point where it'll start turning how you want it to turn, but don't force it. Just have a few little ridges just up in there. Now this edge as well, it's a bit darker. I can just put some dark in for that. But then it also has a few little things going on up into that, just slightly. Mixing a little bit more of the lavender that I mixed earlier, phthalo blue and crimson. Phthalo blue and crimson just there. It's that good dark colour that we've been using throughout. And then again we've got, it's even darker in this one, it's quite a dark one. Just in there, see how dark that is? I can actually pull that down a bit. Now I'm going to use a small part of the knife and just allow that to mix with the colour underneath so that it's not quite as dark. There. That's it. Same over here. Just want to come down and just let it break. Just let that colour break in there. It's going to be lighter at the bottom, just down here, so I don't want to put too much colour in that. Now again, I'm clean the knife off. A lot of times when I put the paint on there, I put the paint on first, just like I have done there, and just down here wants to be really like quite light, so I'm just going to scratch that out a bit. Stop problems because you're going to have trees down here and stuff anyway. Right, and then I just gently go over that. Just allow it to mix with what's underneath, with the base colour. These angles are also important when you're doing this. And then I'm going to break this edge up slightly so it's not just boring. That's fine. I'm starting to get somewhere now. Right. Keep stepping back and having a look at what you've got. Back to some of the highlight colours again. Put some more of them in over the top. Right, I'm just going to grab this lavender. The lavender colour that I've mixed down here. I'm going to get some white to it. A bit more crimson needed, I think. That's something like what I was after. Just a nice lavender. There. Some more white with that. Just in there so it's quite light in tone. That's it. Then with the small edge of the knife, you can just come back in here and then gently touch up some of the tops. I'm just doing it up in here to get practice first, and then I can come in here and do the same thing. Just at the very top. And then we've got a few little stuff that come down into that. A few little shadowed stuff going on. That's cool. And then just a tiny bit on top of this. Just in there. That's perfect. That's all you need. Just that little bit of something to show that the shadow's there for it. Same in there. Lift that up. Just a few things on that. And then usually these parts do go down into there a bit. See that? Just enough to give some little rocky effects. Same up in there. And then maybe that can come down somewhere there. I've still got to come back to this area, so that's not quite finished yet, but like I said, I like to get the bulk of it done first, get the majority of it done. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use some white with a bit of yellow again, mixed into that same colour, so it's pretty much the same what we had before. Cut across, get a roll of paint, and then just in these areas, like in here, I want to pull some of this colour in. See that? Just in there. You just pull down with it, with the knife. There's a bit more pinky stuff going on in there. That peachy colour, sorry. Nice peachy colour going on down in there. Quite a bit on my brush, on my knife still, so with that I can just put a bit down in there. If it comes off too thick, just rub it like so, because these are going to be more muted in the water anyway. It's going to be a lot more mute and suggestible rather than detailed. So what I'll do is I'll put it in like so, and then I'll use a brush and just go down and across it again. Get that ridge. Now I know I want some of that colour just in this area as well, so I could put some little indications for that colour in there. But a lot of that's going to get covered up anyway, because we've got like rocks and stuff just in this area. Something like so is good enough. Now just going to use a biggish blender brush. Now you can see just in here where I've just gone a bit further over, you can just blend that away, no big deal. Now I just want to actually touch and just pull down on that colour. See that? Just pull down on it and let it mix with the colour that's underneath. Keep wiping it off on a towel. There. But these are quite stretched, to these reflections. They really are quite stretched out. You can leave a couple of bits of detail, but not proper sharp detail, just soft, subdued stuff going on. Pull down. Beauty of wet on wet. Lovely reflections you can make. Now with that I just want to use a fan brush, and because it's still wet at this moment I really want to use some of this blue colour, so I might even get a bit more blue on my brush. Blue and a bit of white together on the brush. Just show you that. Just some blue and white. It's not ultra strong. It's about the same as what's on here already. See this darkish colour we've got in here. So I want to use some areas of this, and I want to actually pull straight through into it. I might actually get a bit more white with that. See how I check it first, and then I can tweak it by just adding a bit more white. See, I'll just use the blue that's left on the brush actually and just do that. That's exactly the tone that I was after now. So use that same colour and just bring it into the reflection slightly. There. Same over here, there's quite a bit of stuff going on, and some of these come right through. The big one just in here, a bit fatter is that. Something about like that. And then again we've got another one coming from this side, right through into the reflections. Now if you pick up a bit of that colour like I did there, don't worry, if you go back, that'll just blend away. It's not yellow that it'll turn it green, not so yellow. And then see them lovely colours though, the way that it shimmies. I just adore doing this. Playing with reflections like this is so much fun. And then just in there I can do it here and there. Just doing it now and again. And the good thing is that you actually, when you do this, you pick up a bit of the dark and then you can put it back in there. And it gives you little shadows for your waves, or your little ripples should I say. Lovely effect for getting wet reflections. Reflections that are actually moving. These reflections will look like they're actually moving. And sometimes you can actually pick up that paint and put a bit over in there. Smart. I'm very happy. Now there's a few ripples going down into here. And then I get a big brush again, same big brush, and where I pulled down before, I'm now going to come along and go across. See that? Straight into the reflection. Where that colour is that I've done, I can actually just pull that and then it'll actually just go. See how I went straight through it, straight across it. You don't put loads of pressure though, just enough pressure. You leave certain areas so that they stand out a little bit more, but you see all these little ripples and stuff that you get when you're doing this. It's really nice.